I'll press go live. Come on. Okay, if anyone, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
If anyone is able to check the YouTube channel,
It just went up.
and can you hear? The next thing is to check. Can you hear me? Are my levels okay? And can you hear normal Discord members as well?
You sound a bit loud on the YouTube video.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to turn it down a bit. It was a bit loud a moment. Oh, it's still a bit loud. So hopefully by the time you hear this on the YouTube video, it's going to be good. Could someone else say a few things so we can check the levels of Discordians?
Test, 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 test.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening, everyone. Hope you can hear this.
Steve, hi.
Hello.
Okay, so I think we have to wait a few seconds just to check whether the YouTube thing is working, the sound. I've just said that the event is happening. Come on. Okay. Can you hear me still now? Just normally on Discord.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And I was out of the loop then for a second. Could anyone confirm that we could hear people on YouTube?
We can.
All right. Awesome. Let us begin. What are we going to begin with? Oh yeah, just while people are joining, I think I've got a few little things to just look at. Let me get them lined up. Alrighty, here we go. So, yeah, there's a few images that I just want to mention. Pam, well done for processing this. It is spider and fly. There's kind of like the spider thing. There's a little, there's the little fly. Ooh, I didn't know I could do that. And I've still to submit my data. So am I bad? This target is over now. I think this is the official. This is the last. This is the end of this target. It's setting now. So if you have data on this,
I can't get it.
you whatty?
So if anybody else can get data on it, fine. But sort of, I'm not going to be able to get any more on it.
Yeah, I think we need to. I think we knock it on the head. I'd have data, as I said, but I need to upload it. I'll try and do that tomorrow. Anyway, it's looking good already. Well done. You managed to get some little blue bits there, I see. Gosh, there's some really interesting things going on.
That's significant cheating. Getting blue in there takes a bit of cheating.
Right, yeah, I know, because I spent a long time trying to get oxygen on that. But awesome.
There isn't any.
Yeah, I know. It's just a nightmare. All right. And this is Space Cadet did a very nice edit on Thor's helmet. Just thought I'd mention that.
Are you meant to be streaming? You're not streaming.
The live is on Discord. On YouTube, sorry.
Yeah, you're not sharing your screen on Discord. I don't know if you are meant to or not.
Oh, crap. Yeah, so you can't see anything I'm saying. Sorry.
Yeah, we
Unless you're watching YouTube.
You're all watching YouTube, so you're all a bit getting confused. All right, now let me share my screen. I'm supposed to. Sorry, it's been a while. Screen, come on. I need to get the right one. OBS. There we go. Go live. Apologies. Right. So hopefully now, let me go back. Are you all with me now? You should be seeing the spider and fly on Discord.
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Okay, good. So well done, Pam, for that. Well done, Space Cadet. Very nice, intricate, nice lot of detail of Thor's helmet here. Well done, Space Cadet. You're probably not with us. You're in India. Hermit, thank you for doing Very nice combination of Andromeda here with lovely hydrogen and oxygen, and there's a nice nebula down there actually. I wonder whether at some point we should make this a BAT target. Extragalactic nebulosity. Might be quite a fun thing to do. Okay, well done, Hermit, thank you. This is De Monti. Now, I know it's not a finished process. It is... Stefan, is this still the competition target? Maybe Stefan isn't here. Anyway, this was, and possibly still is, I need to check the competition target. De Monti has done a nice little quick process. I know it's not the final one, as he said. Interestingly, though, and rather nice, is that the regular images, so this isn't the high resolution images, have managed to get this little extra nebulosity on the top here. Ooh, that's good. That's good. We should. It shows that we needed perhaps to get more data on M82, which is the big back target. I'm going to come to that in a bit. MrCrazyPhysicist did again a different process on Thor's helmet, supersonically lovely. And yeah, Astrolux did a rather nice reprocess, I guess, of... I always get the name of this one wrong. NGC7331. Is that right?
891.
891. Well, it's only like 89,000 off. Anyway, it's very nice. Well done. Okay, so that was kind of preamble. Now I want to get to the main event for me, actually. Which is that finally we had some decent weather, and a few of us, and when I say a few, I mean me and MrCrazyPhysicist, were able to do a little bit of lucky imaging on M82, and I think, let me just tee it up. Here we go. So this is come on. This is where the BAT was parked the last time we met. We did a master processing competition, and yeah, absolutely fantastic M82, right? Really amazing. But we didn't have any lucky imaging data on it. I think this is Lafain's process, which was one of the really good ones. But finally, me and MrCrazyPhysicist did. Now, before we look at the lucky imaging that we did, certainly from my point of view, the conditions weren't ideal. And they haven't been for 5 months, but at least I got a chance to do it. And as I'm sure you know if you've been with us, lucky imaging means we won't get any of this faint stuff at all. None of this. All we can hope to get, particularly with just a few of us, is the centre. And the question is, can we get a decent resolution on the centre by lucky imaging? This has been, right? This has been the mantra. This has been what the BAT was created to do, right? I know lucky imaging is hard, but the whole thing back in the day was set up to match some of the big scopes, perhaps even go better than some of the big scopes, which isn't easy because they sit on top of mountains and the wobble in the atmosphere is like less than an arcsec. That's why they put them up on those blooming mountains. So we've got to beat that wobble and them. So I'll show you what we've got now. I don't want to pick it up too much because, anyway, let's just have a look at what we got. Oh, that's Hubble. So here we go. So this is mostly MrCrazyPhysicist's core, but when you add Big Bertha, my core, you get a little bit more resolution in there. And so this is just the very core of M82. Okay, it looks noisy, doesn't it? But there's a surprising amount of detail. You would, by the way, expect there to be a lot of noise with just a few of us. Me imaging for 2 hours, lucky imaging, I made like 30,000 frames, half a second long, right? You get about the same amount of signal as, I don't know, like one image done for like a minute or 5 minutes or something. So 2 hours is like one normal of imaging integrated is like one normal sub for a normal person in terms of signal to noise. But the resolution is very good, and we have incredibly picked up these star clusters in the center of the galaxy. They're similar to, I think they're actually, I called them globular clusters. I think they're not, some of them might be globular clusters, but I think the ones in the core are known as star clusters. They apparently were formed when, because this galaxy, the Cigar Galaxy, as you know, is passing very close to M81, Bode's galaxy, and I've just read up about this, so I haven't read it in detail, but I just tell you what I know. This creates quite the interaction between the two galaxies creates creates more pressure in some of the clouds of gas in the core of M82, which then leads to a flurry of star formation, and these star formations form star clusters inside the galaxy. So even though there's just two of us imaging this, lucky imaging, me with a 10-inch and a good camera. Actually, my camera is great for lucky imaging, and MrCrazyPhysicist with a 14-inch and a camera that isn't quite so good at lucky imaging because it's doesn't quite have the same quantum efficiency as the sensitivity as my camera. It's still a good camera. We and I would say mostly MrCrazyPhysicist have managed to get these star clusters. I think that is incredible. I think it's absolutely incredible that we've done it, and it makes me more determined than ever to push this idea forward. I want 100 lucky images. We need 100. If we get 100 people doing it, remember, a whole night session of lucky imaging is like one normal sub, right? But if we get 100 people doing it, then let's just have a look here. Here's what Hubble did, right? Here's some of the globular clusters. Oh, you're not looking at it, are you? Sorry, I'm back on me, aren't I? Sorry. Right. Here's what Hubble did. Right. Hubble didn't even get the whole blooming galaxy. Anyway, here's the kind of some of the star cluster regions around there, right? Like what we got. As you can see, Hubble's got way more detail, particularly in the fainter bits. We're never going to be able to pick up any of that detail unless we can get some more of you lucky imaging. Okay, that is kind of moving forward going to be the goal of the BAT, to try and train people up in lucky imaging. The other thing is, it's worth mentioning, is that we probably once we've got the process done with our high resolution core of M82, we should probably put it up for an APOD, because the guys in the APOD are very they love having something really, they're NASA guys. They love having something really sciencey to talk about, and I think being able to say, look, we've got these star clusters, gives them an excuse to talk about starburst galaxies. And apparently there's a lot of starburst galaxies in the early universe, so it's just a little carrot for the guys who decide what an APOD should be, to give them something, a target like this with a unique feature like what we managed to get. Which brings me on to one of the things I want to get everyone thinking about, which is, what is our next BAT target going to be? And I'm talking about the high resolution target. I actually don't care how long we spend trying to image it. I think it's worth just going for a target and making it really good as we possibly can. We've had the worst year for astrophotography in living memory. It's in the UK, certainly. It's been absolutely awful. It's been the worst possible year for doing something like the BAT. But I still want to carry on doing it, and maybe over the summer we'll get some nice high pressure, and then the seeing is absolutely critical, and maybe we'll actually get some good seeing. And when we actually get some good seeing, then even an 8-inch scope will be able to contribute really well to lucky imaging. I mean, it's a, you know, you need it. You need it to you need a good scope. You need a good camera. You need calm skies. All three, and you're laughing. But even like an 8-inch scope that costs 500 quid, like the ones with the GSO mirror, like we've seen, are capable of really high resolution. And if you get an 8-inch scope with nice high pressure over you and nice good seeing, that will really be able to contribute to lucky imaging. Anyway, so we need to get our heads scratching as to what our next target is going to be. Really important that we get a good target that we can all really get to grips with. And okay, next thing to talk about is I was going to do... Actually, before we move on, does anyone want to say anything about M82 and what I've just been talking about? Okay. Come on. Yeah.
It's quite hard to get to the resolution of Hubble, since Hubble doesn't have any atmospheric wobble, and it has like 2.7 meters mirror, or 2.3, I'm not sure.
Right. Yeah, we're not going to get the resolution of Hubble.
Yeah.
But, Ulrich, if you don't mind, can I just show you again the Hubble image? Right? That's the Hubble image, right?
Right.
Okay. And with just 2 people in bad seeing, we're managing to get these little... I don't know if you can see my cursor, you probably can't. We're managing to get some of these little dots in here, right?
Yeah, the globular clusters.
Yeah. So... You're right, we're never going to get Hubble. Hubble will kick our ass. Thing is, there's only one Hubble, and it didn't have enough time to get all of this galaxy. And we are getting not as good as Hubble, but I think it's absolutely astonishing that we're getting in the same ballpark, showing these, like, some of these cluster things that are here. Really astonishing. So... You know, you're right, we're not going to get the same as Hubble. Certainly in a one-on-one fight, we're not going to get the same as Hubble. But bloody hell. You'd think we'd be miles and miles and miles off. Yeah. So, I mean, you know, I'm quite excited about it, really. Okay, anyone else before I go on to the next?
Short comment on the resolution. So regular imaging with the C14 was about 1.7 arcseconds.
All right.
And with lucky imaging, I can go down to 1.2 arcseconds. So the aim is really to get at or below 1 arcseconds, I would say.
Yes.
So we will not Hubble, but we will beat the seeing and the seeing limitation of the typical telescopes.
Yes.
And that's quite amazing.
Also, your 1.2 arcseconds, I'm guessing, wasn't in particularly good seeing. So it's possible to do better.
Yeah, the seeing was good, but not perfect. So it was 1.7 arcseconds if you do regular imaging. And we could go down to 1.2 with lucky imaging. So there's really a significant benefit. And by the way, the key was to reduce the integration time from 1 second to 250 milliseconds.
Exposure time, yeah.
So that really has improved the resolution significantly.
Yeah. I need to get a bigger scope. That's what I've discovered. And you did very well, actually.
You did. Bigger scopes also weight a lot, much more. So...
I know, but I've got a plan.
14 has a big volume plus really a large amount of mass, so that's really annoying. So you really have to be motivated to set up large scopes.
Yes, you do. Anyway, you'll see in a video coming up. Oh, by the way, this M82 In about 6 or 8 weeks, I will drop a video. I finally managed to get the footage that I need to make the video. So it's been so long, but when that video drops in about 6 or 8 weeks' time, I've got another video to edit first. We will get a lot of interest in the BAT from that, and it is my mission. I'm speaking particularly to the mods now. It's the mission is to get everything squared up in this group, so that when they arrive, it's fairly clear what's happening. And I think from the beginning, it was quite broad what we were doing. I think now, what I'd like to do, and I'm driving this now, I've decided that being a dictator is actually probably better than giving everyone a vote and then maybe we do this, maybe. I'm kind of going to drive this now, and I think for me, the thing I'm interested in is getting high resolution targets like this really well. And the BAT, I want to set it up so that we train people and help people to help us get these high resolution targets. So we do have regular imagers as well who aren't doing lucky imaging, and they are actually still important for getting the dimmer, fainter bits, even on our high resolution BAT targets. But part of having regular images on board is that we can help train people up. It's taken a year and there's only 2 of us doing lucky imaging. So I'm hoping this time next year we might have a few more.
But I have also thrown some lucky imaging data.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see it. Ulrich, of course you did. Have you done it for M82?
Yes, it's in RGB data because I shot it with color planetary camera, not monochromatic.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, as you know, it's very hard lucky imaging, and RGB is another. It makes it a bit harder to do. Obviously, because you're getting even less photons. So my images were half second. MrCrazyPhysicist were a quarter of a second. How long images? How long were your exposure?
Half a second.
Half a second. Oh, well done. What kind of telescope have you got?
I've imaged with 10-inch Newtonian.
Ah, and are you like f4?
f4.7.
Yeah. Okay,
I
good.
was able to resolve those globular clusters.
Awesome. So we need to add that to the mix. Okay. So it's a big job for it's a big job for our master processors and the rest of us to get around. Is trying to get this detail in the core of M82. We've got brilliant images already, but now we need to put that detail in there from Ulrich, MrCrazyPhysicist, and mine. I do apologise for not mentioning you, Ulrich. I'm sorry. Earlier. Okay. I'm just going to park that for a while. We're going to have a discussion in a bit about the next target. Probably we won't choose exactly the next target, but but hopefully we'll get some good suggestions. And me, in consultation with some of the BAT mods, will then finally decide on the next high resolution target, because M82 is you can't get it now. It's as soon as it gets dark, it's setting. So that's what we've got. What we've got now for M82, but I think we could do. I think it can be better, but I'm super happy with what we've got at the same time. All right, next up, I am going to just change tack completely. One of the things that we've been imaging in the BAT over the winter was the Boogey Man Nebula, and we put that data into a master processing competition a couple of weeks ago, and I'd just like to run over some of the results and announce the winners of the master processing competition. The winners will be awarded the role of master processor. It opens up a couple of channels, and we're hoping that people who are master processors will help us process BAT data. It's part of the jigsaw. We need more high resolution images. We need regular images as well to get the faint bits, and we need people to help process it. So very important. Okay, let's run through some of the images that I've picked out from this competition. Let me just bring it up. Here we go. Alrighty, so this is 3D Man 1000. I really liked how he was able to get all these vibrant colours in here. And a lot of times I find that some of the most artistic and exciting processes, unfortunately, technically, aren't quite there. And I'm going to mention some of the ones that I really personally liked, but technically they just fall slightly short. Now, artistry is something that, I mean, it's kind of like you're born with it, really. Technical stuff you can learn. I guess you can develop and hone your artist skills, but I really liked the colours in this. And this one, which was from Merv, well done. Managed to get some blues in there. Now, this is Ryan Bergen. This is his second version, actually. What I really liked here is that technically and actually visually, you're managing to get some real nice filaments in the dust clouds. The stars are good. It's nice. Now this is the brighter one. I think you did it. Yeah, here's your slightly dimmer version. I actually like this dimmer version better. I don't know why. It just feels slightly more foreboding for me. Of course, dimmer means having less bright, less punchy, means that you can control the noise more easily too. Another way of controlling the noise more easily is if we had more data. So in fact, even on this with the BAT, we could have perhaps done with a bit more data just to really get it absolutely super plush. Anyway, well done, Ryan. Ron Mitbrill, I hope I said that right. Again, an absolutely gorgeous, moody, very nice filament nebulosity in this. I really like it. Well done. I think you've done a brighter version as well. Here we go. Yeah, I'm digging the moody one myself. Normally, brighter seems to work better on Instagram though. Here's another really nice one from Semi-Pro. I thought the area around this star here managed to get some of the blue, which is quite hard to get any blue nebulosity in this particular image. This is really nice too. Thomas F. Now, in low resolution, this is one of my favourites. I think the artistry in choosing this colour palette is fantastic. It does loop, partly because you brought out the colours so much. You've had to do a lot of noise reduction, and I think, and in terms of technicality, probably doesn't win your master processor on this, but in terms of ethos and spirit and artistry, for me this is a big winner. And those are the ones I picked out, and the two people that I'm going to make master processors are Ron Mitbrill and Ryan Bergen. So well done, guys. Well done all. So thank you for that wonderful job. Okay, Stefan, are you here now?
Yes, I am. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing, dude?
I'm good. You? All right. Yeah, I was a bit late. I hope I didn't miss anything big.
I don't know how much you missed, but suffice to say, I'm very pleased with being able to see star clusters in the centre of M82. I think that's great. So tell us a little bit about the competition and where we're at with that stuff. So for those of you who don't know, regular images, so non-high resolution images who are members of the BAT, the target is the same as the competition target in the server, and Stefan is in charge of the competition. Yeah, Stefan, go ahead.
All right. So last month we had like M82 and M81 as the competition. We finished that one. In fact, we're almost done with the next one already. I think we've got a lot of data on M82 and M81, so it's going to be exciting. I definitely also want to take a look at it and try an edit of myself, because I personally still am not happy with all the edits that have been done so far. I think it can be done even better. So,
quick question on this one. How is it lying? Because we didn't ask people necessarily to align the subs of M81, M82. How is that gone?
I believe we have aligned. I think there might still be some missing. I think someone aligned them for us.
Wow.
I'll have to look into it.
Gosh, whoever did the aligning, thank you so much. I was going to suggest that maybe while a meeting like this goes on, we could potentially in the background, while people.
I hope I did this right. I don't remember. It was a while ago. I think I moved all of the aligned frames already into the download, and everything that's in the upload still has to be aligned.
So we've got quite a lot of aligning to do potentially.
I hope I'm not mixing things up, but I'm pretty sure yes. That I actually already moved some over, because I forgot who it was, but someone took his time and aligned them. And yeah, much thanks to them, because that's going to save a lot of time, I think.
All right. Maybe next time when we have a meeting, I think they're going to be once every month, these meetings. Maybe we could make some folders with 5 unaligned stacks in each. And we could just, as the meeting begins, we could just divvy them out. So people who've got Pix Insight could just align 5 while we're having the meeting. And
that's a good idea, actually.
And then it could all be done in one go. Yeah.
That's a good idea, yes. Yeah.
Cool.
So we have right now, the competition is going to end, I think, tomorrow or like today. We have had right now the Markarian chain as a target. Yeah. So the reason why I haven't said anything yet was because there wasn't actually that many submissions, although I think we have gotten quite a few good uploads in the last few days. So if you want to, I can also announce it again like last time to upload to the BAT and make it as a target and have everyone upload, and if people still want to shoot, they can upload, or we could also just try and announce the next one and make that a target. Because the thing with Markarian's chain was it was so close after the M81, M82 that I didn't instantly want to also add another one to the BAT target, because we're going to have too many targets. Yeah. But I really wanted M82 and M81 to be a target, because we had a lot of data on that.
I think you're right.
So I haven't actually made Markarian's chain a target for the BAT, and now I'm just wondering if it's maybe a better idea to make the next one, the one we're going to announce in a week or so, a BAT target. It's going to be, we still have to vote for it. In the end, it's like everyone who's imaging them, they have to decide what's going to be the target, but we're thinking M101 or Leo triplet, or the last one will not be working as a BAT target. However, the last one we had as an option was one of those globular clusters. So one of those 3 would be the BAT targets. If it's the globular cluster, I think we would probably just make Markarian's chain as a target, because a cluster is not really going to work for a BAT target, because you don't really gain anything from stacking them together. Like, it's not going to be interesting enough, I think, to make a BAT target.
Yeah. Makes perfect sense to me, Stefan. Yeah, just as a side note, one day we are going to make a globular. Globular clusters have quite a lot of variable stars in them, apparently. And if you're able to image them regularly, I don't know what the timescale is. Something like every hour, it might be, or every couple of hours.
I actually heard once about our star cluster. I forgot which one it was. There's a star cluster. When you shoot them, and you compare them from different nights, one of these stars will turn green because it changes color. So if you shoot in I'm not sure if you shoot in mono. I think if you shoot in mono, and you shoot your R, G, and B data on different nights or something, since one of the stars changes in color, you get a green star in the final image or something like that. So you can really notice that something's up with the stars. So that can definitely be interesting.
Or perhaps you shoot it in the red channel when it's bright and the blue channel when it's dark.
I have not enough experience in this topic, but I think I can find the video where I found about it, and I can let you know which cluster was with interesting stars in.
So there's a guy from Arizona who did manage to do it, and it's just a nice, you got your globular cluster. It's like a video, and it's like almost like a Christmas special effects video, because some of the stars go brighter and darker, and it looks really nice. Anyway, that's one for the future. Awesome. So I look forward to hearing what the next competition target is going to be. Slightly fingers crossed it's not the globular cluster, because I think it's a good idea skipping Rakin's chain. Yeah.
A lot of people don't like them, so I don't think that would make it like I always thought that like the Leo triplet is an amazing target, but people didn't really vote for it the last times because the other targets look more cool. So what I really think is that people will probably vote for like the biggest galaxies they can find, and the Leo triplet has small galaxies in it, and like Asta is probably also not going to be so impressive. So I feel like people won't vote for it.
Yeah.
But I said, okay, sure. Your standard nerd suggested it, and I was like, sure, we can do that. It could also be interesting. In the end, we're just going to see what the people vote for. I personally think it will not win anyway. I think probably M101 might be the runner-up, because last time it was actually the second place in the voting, I believe. Since we don't have that many targets in the Northern Hemisphere right now, like there's a lot of targets, but most of them can only be shot with like really long focal ranges. I said I'm just going to reuse the ones from last month, because I just want to get the easiest ones done, right?
Yeah.
Not as many people as possible can actually shoot them.
Yeah. All right, brilliant. Well done, Stefan. And well done if you hear this on the video, you're standard nerd. Unless you're here. I doubt it, being as you're living in New Zealand.
He might be. In New Zealand, he's usually awake already at this time.
I can't see him. Anyway, alrighty. Thanks, Stefan. Well done. Brilliant job, as always. Next thing I've got to talk about, last thing really, is what is our next high-resolution BAT target going to be. But let me just open it out. I mean, I see Skippy is Happy is here. I always want to talk to Skippy is Happy if he's available. Is he?
Hello.
Skippy is Happy. How are you doing?
Pretty good. Yeah.
You're still with us. I'm so pleased. So Skippy, for those of you who don't know, Skippy is Happy managed to do something really clever, which I don't know how, but basically you now drop a sub into, I'll just bring it up. You drop a sub into, come on brain, where is it? Test My Scope channel. Here's the Test My Scope channel. Right, and all these, you see all these people have dropped subs in there, and he's got a bot or something that will tell you how sharp your scope is in terms of how the full width half maximum of your stars. Amazing. One day, I mean, I want to make the BAT really simple, and one thing that I'd love is to have a web portal where we upload our data through the web portal. Anyway. Yeah, so Skippy is Happy. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm kind of working on the proof of concept of that, and kind of integrating it in with the bot and Discord login and PixInsight for some
awesome.
stacking and aligning. So I'm still in the early phases.
Yeah. No worries. I'm just pleased that you're still with us. I think that I'm pleased that everyone who's here is here, to be honest. It's not been an easy year, and I think this is going to be a long-term project. So I think we'll to be honest, I think when I put the video out, it's going to grow quite quickly. But when it grows, most people will then fall away again, and we'll be left with a core. But I'm just hoping that we can get this core group of images, and with fingers crossed, some clear skies, to really do some great things. Okay, is there anything I think maybe I'll find time to talk to you at some point, Skippy, just the two of us, just to see how you're getting on. Is that okay?
That's great.
So Steve, before I open the floor up to so the Batman is called Steve. Before I open the floor up to suggestions for the next bat target, is there anything you want to mention?
Just regarding bat targets, I suggested 3 and put them into suggest a target already earlier today.
Yeah.
The Splinter Galaxy, NGC 5906 in Draco was one target.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. All right, well, listen, we're going to have a discussion about targets in a mo. I just wanted to, I think that's going to be the last thing we talk about. So before we do that, I see that. I'm very pleased to see. Oh, Ben Spacey Snaps, I'm very pleased to see he's here. But also Paranoid Ninja. Alex, how are you doing, sir? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm doing good.
Awesome. Anything that you wanted to mention? Other than, I just want to say thank you for being here. Very nice to see you again.
Nothing really to report.
Awesome.
But I'm really happy to be here.
Well, what's nice is that we've got a core now of people who seem to be here through thick and thin. All right. Anyone else who's a bat mod who wants to say anything before we go into thinking about the next targets? Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Perhaps a short update on Hubble's variable nebula, because the time window for capturing the target is closing now. I'm starting to work on the final time-lapse movie for this target. And this time it will be in color, so I hope it works out quite well, but we have a lot of data and it looks really spectacular. So.
All right, that's awesome. Let me know when you finish that so I can actually upload it for the BAT in the Astrobin.
Sure.
Oh, I forgot to mention actually, Stefan. We got a our NGC7331 got a
the top pick.
Top pick on Astrobin. Yeah.
So I think image of the day would be like the best thing. Then there's like also like there's 3 tiers like image of the day. Let's see, there's a gold. That would be the best we can get, and then there is a silver place, which I forgot the name for, and top pick is like bronze. So like it's already pretty hard to get top pick, but I hope that we can actually get an image of the day with the Hubble's variable nebula because it's just so unique. So make sure when you process the data that it looks as good as possible because the people in Astrobin, they hate artifacts. So I hope we can make it look as good as possible so they really like it.
And I've put actually the NGC7331 up on the screen now.
And by the way, the judging on Astrobin is actually anonymous. So as far as I understand it, the people, they don't even know who uploads the data. So our name will not actually help us in getting an image of the day. So basically, we just have to upload as good content as possible whenever we do an Astrobin to increase the chances of getting an image of the day. But I think, that's obvious, right?
Awesome.
I think that is good. At least it's fair.
Yes, definitely.
Awesome. Okay. And I think M82 also is going to be a good contender for image of the day as well. When we finally do that. All right. It is time to start thinking about choosing our next target.
I actually have an idea of a target which could work as lucky imaging. That's the Cat's Eye Nebula.
All right, let me just.
I was actually thinking about that as well.
All right.
It's also really bright.
Do you want to put an image of it? I'm being a bit slow, but I'm just going to bat targets now. Suggest a target.
Yeah, I can drop a picture in.
and maybe drop one in either suggest a target or.
Should I drop like a Hubble image or just like a regular image?
I don't mind.
Like the first thing I get is a Hubble image, which looks insane. So I'm maybe gonna start with one that is more realistic for us to achieve.
What is
I actually dropped one in about an hour ago.
I believe there's one from Adam Block with the really sharp scope, and that is like a reasonable thing to try and beat.
Okay. Does someone want to just drop a Adam Block image then of it?
Yeah, I'm at it right now.
Steve, are you able to drop
channel? Which channel do you want?
Let's do it. Let's just do it in the Batcave actually, because it's just
all right.
It's less busy. Steve, are you able to drop an image of the Splinter Galaxy in the Batcave?
I've already put in a representation from Stellaria.
Okay.
Suggesting a target.
Okay.
Channel.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about the cat's eye then for a bit.
This is actually not from Adam Block. This is from someone else.
Okay, so the target.
But I believe it's the same scope that he also uses, but I'm not sure.
The target needs to be kind of hitting the meridian in like a month's time or 2 months' time, maybe. Does this fit in with that? So
the cat's eye?
Well, we want it to be at its highest. How high does it get?
Right now, meridian is at, and it goes up to 71 degrees where I live, but that is that's at 6 a.m. for me right now. So
okay.
It's early times, but I don't know when we want to start it. So I just figured it might work like in a month or two or so.
Okay, yeah.
It works
good.
right now, I think, but like it would be perfect in a month to two.
Okay, awesome.
But then again, there's also like the days getting shorter, so it might be 2 months. It's tricky right now.
Yeah, we're losing nighttime, aren't we? Okay, so Cat's Eye Nebula is definitely one. If someone's able to drop a picture through a telescope of the Splinter Galaxy in the Batcave, that would be great. And if anyone else has any suggestions, please shout out now.
Well, maybe some globular clusters like M13. The center is quite hard to resolve the stars one by one. Even the big scopes have problems with resolving those stars. Because
why don't you choose a globular cluster that you think will be, nice and high in our time frame?
Well, M13.
M13 is it? And do you mind if you can? Would you be able to pop a picture in the Batcave so we can all have a look?
Just a second.
What's interesting about a globular cluster is that people from the city will be able to have a go at it as well. But really, it would be nice if there was something. Like, isn't there some kind of shadow in one of the globular clusters that's quite hard to resolve? It'd be nice if our target had like a goal. We want to try and get this. Like, for instance, in Orion's Nebula, I'd like us to try and get the protoplanetary disks. Now I know Orion Nebula is not going to be with us for like 9 months or whatever, but it's nice to have a goal like that. With M82, it was nice to have a goal, which I didn't realise actually before we shot it, of the star clusters, right? So, is there a shadow or something in the centre of one of these globular clusters, which might be something that we could really aim for?
Yeah, sharp as possible to resolve it.
Okay. Any more? Anyone else got any suggestions?
51 or 106.
M51. Okay. Do you mind popping an image in the cave, in the Batcave? You can see. Great. Yes, Splinter Galaxy. This is one that I really want to get, actually.
Oh, yes, we had that one in
That's going to take a very long exposure time.
That's what people
Total
say.
integration time.
That's what people
That
say.
thing
And I'm saying that's what we're here for.
Yes, it is. So it
So
is a
that's
good
a
target
good
for the
thing.
bat.
Yeah, it's a great target because we can do the regular imagers can help us with the really long exposure time, getting this faint stuff, right? And the
Yes.
lucky imagers will help resolve this nice high contrast band. I think this is a fantastic target myself. It works on a lot of levels. You see how blurry this faint bit is.
Oh, I personally, for clusters, I personally don't think that they're gonna work well for BAT target because it's star-based, and it's gonna be tricky to get them aligned and working good. Like because there's as many, the more images of different scopes we add up, the weirder the stars are gonna look.
Mm.
And there's a ton of stars in clusters.
Oh, that's true.
It's interesting, actually. It's almost like you could lucky image star clusters by yourself.
Yes.
It's like you don't really need to have lots of other people imaging it as well. You just need one person to get a really good night of seeing with a really good collimated scope. And they are going to be able to do almost as well as... Because it's so bright, isn't it, in the middle of that? You're not really worrying about... how many photons you're getting. And Loco, yeah, with M51, the only thing about M51 is that it's been done to death, but it's still quite a good M106. Yeah, M106 is actually, I really love M106. And it's really interesting with its shafts of hydrogen that are flying up. And it's the one I did in my original Lucky Imaging video with my little 6-inch scope. Gosh, I know so much more about Lucky Imaging now. Quite funny.
I think the only downside to M106 and M51 is that the meridian is already like in the half point of the night, almost like for M106 even past. Like it's less than half point. Like it's also getting late for these targets in a month or two.
Yeah. What about the Splinter Galaxy? How's that? Is that coming? When does that hit the meridian? Is it in a few months' time?
Yep. It's quite.
And how high? Late. And how high does it get?
Yeah, that one is much better, and it goes up to 81.9 for where I live, and I live in Germany, so I'm more south to you.
Yeah, 83.
It's in the north, so it must be higher even for you, Rory.
Oh, awesome. So look,
right now it's the meridian is at shortly past 2 o'clock.
I mean, for you, Rory, like the Splinter Galaxy might even be a hitting zenith.
Okay, so I personally think the Splinter Galaxy is a really good one to go for. I'll do a little bit of research on it and see if there's anything sciencey that we might be able to resolve that will help us with the A-pod. I'll also have a look at the Cat's Eye Nebula. Yeah, why don't we just do a quick and dirty? So why don't we just do a quick and dirty sort of poll right now? I'll put a little Astrobiscuit thumbs up on both of these, and if you've got one that you prefer more than the other, the Cat's Eye or the Splinter, do you want to just give it a thumbs up?
Ghost of Jupiter looks cool.
Ghost of Jupiter.
Wow.
Go on, plop a... Oh, have we got it here already?
Yeah, he just posted
Ghost of Jupiter Nebula. Gosh, is it that bright blue thing? That is interesting.
That looks cooler than Cat's Eye.
That is interesting.
Let me see if I can find that in Stellarium.
Also, I've got some narrowband magnesium and sodium filters now, which I'm using to mess around with some experiments I'm doing on solar imaging.
Oh, that's the only... The Ghost of Jupiter is like a southern hemisphere target, or like...
oh yeah, I vaguely remember seeing it on Stellarium, and it was quite low on the horizon.
That's so unfair. They have all the cool right now, and we're just...
It's also a bit too late for that. Looks
Okay.
like
That's true. If we get more people from the southern hemisphere, like around the equator area, we can do it.
Yeah.
they are going to need very long focal lengths, though.
It's a good.
That thing is really tiny.
Tom's come up with one, M57. M88 is gorgeous as well. I don't know whether they're high enough. Oh, too low really, says Tom. Okay, that's a shame. M88 was so M88 would be a great lucky imaging target. It doesn't have the dim bits of the Splinter Galaxy going around the edge. I don't know from this image how bright it is. Obviously, for lucky imaging, the brighter the better. It certainly is a handsome target. All right. Well, look, I think. It's 4,000 millimeter, is it? That shot of M88. Okay, so maybe it's a bit too. We'll have a look. All right. Thanks for that. I'm thinking we're probably going to go for the Splinter Galaxy, but we'll have a little. Ulrich says M63 does look gorgeous. Oh, that's the Sunflower Galaxy, isn't it? Actually, funnily enough, I imaged that recently. We had a recent clear spell. I imaged it with my 8-inch Newt. I was testing out the new QHY 533M camera, which is going to be released in a couple of weeks. And it's
Did you manage to get those fainter stuff around the galaxy?
Well, I was using an 8-inch Newt, and I got this a little bit, but it's so faint. What I got, I was only imaging for, like, I didn't do a massive big image session. It was most of one evening, I think, and I was at my mum's place, Bortle 4, not Bortle 4-5 actually. I did just about manage to get this, but it was so noisy that I haven't really been able to pull it out, but I could see it. So yeah, you'd be able to do that. It's an interesting one. I got more of the. I think I got more detail in the core than this person got. Oh no, maybe not. Maybe similar. Anyway, sorry, you can't see what I'm doing. I've opened it up on the big screen. Of course, it doesn't show up on your. There we go. Yeah, is it going to be a little bit behind where we need to be though? Because it's quite high right now, isn't it? If we're going to be imaging it for a couple of months, is it actually a little bit too past the meridian, or is it okay, do you think?
No, it's already quite late. It's early spring target.
Right, okay. Okay, so we are, at the moment, I think, leaning towards the Splinter, are we? Is that right? Or...
I so.
Or...
I like the Splinter Galaxy a lot, so I'm leaning forward to it.
All right, let's
of the people.
Mr. Crazy Physicist, what do you think about the Splinter?
Yeah, the tidal features look interesting. I'm not sure what details we can resolve inside the galaxy itself with lucky imaging. So I would prefer the cat's eye for lucky imaging, actually.
Really? Okay.
But the tidal features look very cool, yeah.
So the cat's eye, is it quite bright, the cat's eye?
Yeah, it's really bright.
It's extremely
It's
bright.
like as bright as Orion Nebula core or something like that. It's ridiculously bright.
So for the core, you can really do lucky imaging. That's no issue.
And the other stuff is really faint. So like the stuff around it is insanely faint, and the stuff inside the core is really bright. It's tricky.
Okay, I think we should do the cat's eye. That's what I think now.
Well, I believe there's quite a lot of dust detail in the splinter galaxy in disk.
Yes. Oh, you think that
So is that
central
one,
part?
the one you shared, is that lucky
Yeah,
image?
that has to have some detail in it.
Yes, it's lucky imaging.
That is so cool.
Yeah,
So-
okay, there are a lot of features, so that might be actually better.
And it is bigger than the cat's eye, so it might fill the field of view better than cat's eye.
I now think we should do the Splinter Galaxy. What do other
I
people?
mean, you don't cover the lucky imaging part, but also the regular imaging. So.
Yeah, we can have both, can't we? And combine the two. I think. Shall we? Should we do the Splinter? I mean, I think the cat's eye is fantastic, and Mr. Crazy, and it's such an unusual target. The thing, actually, with the cat's eye, it's like, hold on, let me just get it back. It's how much. So we say it's small, right? But you're also saying there's more stuff around the edge. So
Yes.
presumably, if we
Yeah.
get more stuff around the edge, it actually becomes quite a lot bigger.
Have you seen the image I posted above, like the first one of the targets we had?
Yeah.
That image shows the edge stuff.
Sorry, where is that? In the? Is it in the?
It has 5 votes actually. You voted it already, so you saw it. You upvoted it, so you.
Me?
Above my Splinter Galaxy picture,
yeah.
you can see the cat's eye, and there's all of the surrounding nebulosity. And then if you scroll all the way
I
down,
see. So I'm looking
you
at
can
it now.
see.
This is it, yeah? Is this the image you were talking about?
Yes, exactly.
This image.
And the very center is the picture I posted down at the bottom.
That edit is actually slightly fake because the center should be a lot brighter than that.
Yeah.
Right, so this area around here, is that quite, how big a field of view would this be compared with, say, I don't know, compared with the Splinter Galaxy? Is it similar or is it still quite a lot smaller? I think perhaps we need to do, or, you know, So I was thinking the whole thing was the cat's eye, but really the small bit of the cat's eye is that bit in the middle. And this is all the faint stuff going around here.
Yes, but only the small bit has some relevant detail.
Yeah. For lucky imaging. But then the...
Yeah, and the Splinter has the whole disk.
Yeah. So Ulrich, you're a Splinter Galaxy
I
man.
just compared the sizes. I think the diameter of the cat's eye nebula is about half or a third, probably more like a third of the width of the Splinter.
Okay.
It's pretty small.
I think we should do Splinter. I think Splinter because, and maybe next year do Cat's Eye when we're really good. What do we think? What do you reckon, Mr. Crazy Physicist? Or are you still, if you're still set on Cat's Eye Nebula, then
I would actually image both, but yeah, I will go with the Splinter Galaxy.
One thing I would mention on this one is I was just having a look at in terms of my field of view. Given some of the hassles I'm having with upscaling, basically I have to upscale. Yeah, basically the cat's eye, it's a beautiful target, but it's so small that it's going to be very hard to get basically the regular image scale to basically gel on that.
Yeah.
Just because of the size of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting pretty hard already to basically try and match. You know, I've been trying to upscale nearly 3 times to try and match my image scale to something close to lucky imaging. And actually getting the image to upscale like that without causing problems is getting pretty hard.
Yeah. I in all honesty, you do need a big scope. Really.
It's actually the image scale rather than anything else. It's the pixels per...
Oh, you've got quite big pixels, yeah.
Yeah, my image scale is about 1.54, which is regular imaging.
Yeah.
But then if you basically try and blow that up to match your reference at very, very high resolution, then you start getting all these little artifacts that the algorithm basically leaves you with.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, in essence, at 1.54 arcsecond pixel scale, you really need to concentrate. Probably, well, you should concentrate on getting
How
the
big is the
faint
intergalaxy? How big is
this is I am nowhere near this. Basically, I'm not doing lucky imaging, but this is basically for me to even think about getting any kind of data at all on this to contribute, be it H alpha or something else.
Yeah,
this one's going to be a tough one.
I think the only thing is, like, if we want to do lucky imaging, then like the Splinter Galaxy will probably not work, because I think in the Raptor Top, as it doesn't work in here, also has done extensive practicing with lucky imaging, I believe, in the past. And if MrCrazyPhysicist thinks it's too dim to do lucky imaging, then it probably will only work for like shooting long exposures to try and get the faint stuff, but not for lucky imaging, probably.
Well, let's have a look and see how bright it is.
He says it works, but not as well.
Mm.
If I can just chime in here, you kind of decide in between if you want to focus on lucky imaging for the cat's eye to bring out those details, or just stacking up long exposures to bring out the faint dust on the galaxy. So if your goal is to do lucky imaging and train people to do that, the cat's eye is the best way to do that, because it's so insanely bright that even people with moderate scopes can probably lucky image it with no problem. But at the end of the day, it's like, to do lucky imaging, you do need the aperture to do it, and that's kind of a limited factor, so you just gotta consider that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would agree. So Splinter Galaxy might be a good target for really large telescopes for lucky imaging. But if you also want to encourage beginners to do lucky imaging, the cat's eye might be better.
I think that the cat's eye also is very small. I think let's have a think about it. There's no way we can please everyone. I'm afraid.
At the end of the day, everything we lucky image has to be small, because we want it to be like anything that needs to be lucky imaged is small at the end of the day, right?
There's a number of things that go into it. You mean have in a sense. Sorry, I'm looking at his name. I
believe like at some point we hit like the point where we are limited by the seeing. Like, I don't know exactly where that is. That's different on every location, but like
and every day.
For example, with around 8 inches, you're probably hitting the point where you're saying that you're seeing limited, and everyone who is seeing limited will still have an effect on lucky imaging if they are sharp enough. So like.
But some days it might be that there's a day where the seeing is better than 1 arcsecond. It has even happened so when you shoot on that day, life is fantastic, and all the rest of the year it's pretty difficult lucky imaging. Semi-pro is completely right that brighter targets make easier lucky imaging targets, because as MrCrazyPhysicist has shown, quarter-second exposures work better than half-a-second exposures, right? So eventually, if we get enough people doing it, go on, Ulrich.
Just looking at the size of the Cat's Eye Nebula, the core, it's approximately the same size of Jupiter.
So it's really very small.
Yeah, it's like planetary things small.
So I think the fact that it is so small means that perhaps there are features, even though the Splinter Galaxy is dimmer, perhaps there are larger features there that we can bring out with lucky imaging. I mean, and also to answer Pam's point, I think that you really ultimately do need a big scope to do lucky imaging. And I personally am keen on trying to get lucky imaging working.
The point of you needing a big scope with lucky imaging is why I think the argument of saying that a target that is lucky imageable is too small is not really valid, because if we say a lucky imager needs to have a big scope, then it doesn't make sense to say that one target is too small, right?
Well, it depends how small.
It's not even just the scope either. It's my camera that basically does it. My camera is very good for long exposures. The end. So
yeah.
I've got something I can basically do narrowband on, I'm fine. But sort of anything even towards that one is basically my camera just can't do it.
I mean, I believe that my personal opinion is you have to have a mono camera. It has to have low read noise and fast download time. Otherwise,
I have a CCD, so that's basically not it.
With the cat's eye, when you think about when you do planetary and you use a Bolo, you can only get away with that because it's the planet's so bright that even when you put a Bolo on that thing, you can still do it. And I think depending on your scope, you might be able to get away with that on the cat's eye as well.
Really?
So
that's interesting.
If you have I don't know, but if you try to do that on a galaxy, it ain't happening. So
yeah.
That's just the thing with the cat's eye. There's a lot you can try out with it, and if you go check out Astrobin, so many people have lucky imaged the cat's eye. It's kind of ridiculous, and you'd be surprised what you can get.
Semi-Pro, is there any chance of you grabbing one of those images now and popping it in the Batcave?
Give me 2 seconds.
I just put a size comparison of planetary nebula into the Batcave.
Have you seen the image Anaklo posted, Rory? He posted a lucky image version of the cat's eye already.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I'm not necessarily up on it. Am I? Sombrero Galaxy is also something that's nice. Okay, I'm looking for. Who was it who posted it?
Just here.
Here.
Anaklo.
Is it this one?
Of XXA.
Was that it?
13 hours of integration.
Yes, that one.
And this is the reason why the size can be an argument for the cat eyes, because you can crop the picture and it's lighter, so you can take more picture for the final stack.
Yeah, like planetary imaging.
Yes. And it's important because when you see how many frames used, he used 100,000 frames. It's just gorgeous. Too many.
I wonder what scope that ESA one was taken with. Okay.
I think that's just Hubble, or am I seeing it wrong? Because it's really sharp.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is probably Hubble's.
Oh, which one do you mean? Oh, that one.
The one that's on my screen now that I'm sharing.
Yeah, that's Hubble.
Yeah, that is Hubble.
It kind of makes me think we're not we're going to be properly outclassed by Hubble on this one. I know when
we're going to be outclassed by Hubble on everyone, every target.
Yes, that's true, but like the M82, the Hubble, it was too big for Hubble to get in a single go. So
that's true.
It didn't quite get the whole thing. So in a sense, the image isn't quite as pleasing. Yeah. Well, it's definitely.
I just shared one image. You can see it if you scroll down. I tagged you in it. And this is lucky imaging. He used 1 second subs. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
This one. Oh, very good. Yeah. Okay. I mean, they've done it, haven't they? Like you say, loads of people have been lucky imaging it, like a planetary nebula, and they've done it very well. Should we
I
be
have also
going
uploaded the
going down the same
version.
path?
So if you go down a little bit more, this one was taken, actually, the core is Lucky Imaging with the C14, with my setup more or less, and the other outer stuff is with a Hyperstar.
Yeah.
So the scale is about 0.7 arc seconds per pixel.
So my question is this: how much better are we going to be able to do than this?
It just depends on your sky condition, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't know how much better we're going to be able to do than all these people.
I guess it just depends what you want to do. Like, if you're trying to train people to lucky image for like stuff in the future, then this is something that's good to learn on. Unless you just want to like jump into something else like the galaxy straight away.
I feel like M57 would be a better target when that comes up for like teaching people to lucky image. Pretty sure it's brighter and it's a lot bigger with a lot more larger faint details you can see.
But yeah. What do I mean? I think the target needs to be something that we can all be really proud of when we've done it, and I think it needs to be something that ideally has some little twist, something interesting that we're able to resolve. I think that's quite important. In a sense, for me personally, whatever target we choose, people are going to have to learn how to do lucky imaging, right? And we should choose a target that's easy to lucky image, just anyway. So M57, do you have a picture of M57? The advantage for me of the Splinter Galaxy is that we can also include, is that I think we can do better than this. Is my personal, I don't know if you can see my screen. I think we can do better. I think we can get the faint stuff better. And I think there's a chance we can resolve more detail, or at least as much detail, by lucky imaging the core.
Yeah, the question is how faint is it actually? So it perfectly fits inside the field of view of the C14, and I agree the tidal features are really interesting and unusual, and there are not really a lot of guys who image that stuff. So the question is, what can we get out with lucky imaging from the galaxy itself? And they can only be the dust features, which look quite interesting over here.
Yeah.
But the question is really, how bright is the galaxy?
The surface bright. So does anyone know how bright it is in comparison with some other things?
I get it at 11.8 magnitude.
Yeah.
So that means a lot of integration time for lucky imaging.
Well, there's always a lot of integration time for lucky imaging, but yes, even more, which is going to hurt us. So we think it's too dim, really, to get anything out of. Okay, well, look, it's gone 9 o'clock. Thank you, everyone, for the suggestions. We'll have a look at them further. I basically agree with what everyone has said. And in short, it's complicated, a little bit complicated choosing the right target. And we'll just, I think it's worth, before we spend 2 months all trying to image something, it's worth making sure we've absolutely got the best target that we can possibly get. So I'm going to have a look, and I'm sure some of the other mods are going to have BAT mods are going to have a look at these targets, particularly Cat's Eye Nebula, the Splinter Galaxy, really see what that contrast is like in the core of it, compared with some of the things we've already done, compared with M82. And also just keep an eye out for any other things that we might have missed. But thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Thank you for coming along today. Unless someone's got something else they want to say, now is the time. I'm going to knock this on the head. Of course, you can all carry on chatting after I've gone, but I'm going to go. Anyone, any more before I say goodnight? No? All right. Thank you, everyone. Well done.
Just a moment. Splinter Galaxy has surface brightness 13.8 magnitudes, and the M82 has 12.5. So
Right.
it's a magnitude dimmer than the M82. Just.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well. Yeah. It's going to be tricky. We're going to need a lot of lucky images, which we don't currently have, but we might have many more in the future. Let's see. All right, fellas, thank you so much, and ladies, and I'll see you in about a month, where we'll probably be talking a bit more about. Well, we'll see how we're getting on. We'll choose the target this week, and we'll meet again in a month, which will be early days on the target, and see how we're getting on with it. And also, before I release my video next month, we'll be talking about changes that are happening to the BAT. Thank you so much, and yeah, I'll see you on the next one. All right, bye everyone.
Okay, good night.
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 Night. Bye.